My role as an international trade advisor is to work with companies across the region of all sizes who sell both service and product, and it's really to help them think about how they can export, if they're already exporting, if they're thinking about exporting, or how to develop exports further. And that's also to walk them through the range of support and services that we have in the department. We're here to help. There's lots of advice that we can give. They're not committing to anything there. But this can help in terms of growth. It can help with protecting them against fluctuations in the domestic market. It can help them with seasonality. If it's a summer product that they've got, well, obviously the seasons move around worldwide, so you can flatten off those peaks and troughs that you get there. And we're there to hold hands. We are accessible, and we're quite happy just to talk to companies, just to explore what is the art of the possible in terms of exporting. One of the initial ones that we would look at is the research and help them think about which markets might be of interest to them and which ones are appropriate. That could be the size of the market, it could be how difficult that market is to enter in terms of trade duties or the banking systems, and if there is a demand for that product. So part of that is working with our advisors to look at trade statistics and see what the size is overlaid with all those factors that I've mentioned there. That then creates an output for them where they can look at smaller markets that are easy to enter, then bigger markets that are still relatively easy. Then it will show the big and difficult ones, and also the small and very hard markets. So if a client has got that market in mind, we would probably rule those out straight away. And it's about looking for that low-hanging fruit to start with, which are the easiest ones for them to enter that do have a demand for the product or service that they're selling. Once a company has selected the markets that they're interested in, there are several things that we can do from there. That might be an appropriate time where we start to engage with our teams overseas. Within the consulates and the embassies, we've got lots of trade advisors that can work in specific sectors and specific markets to help that client think about how they might sell that product. They might want to help them identify agents and distributors or tell them about appropriate events that we have there. But also we'd reach out to other people within the region that might want to talk about the digital presence that client has got. Is their website international ready? Is it fit for purpose? Does it say or give the right message? Because that can change with different markets overseas. Is it the right colours? Is it structured right? So a big part of getting them international ready is looking at the websites. It's a very important factor for overseas companies that will look at that. Exporting is a contact sport, as we would call it. We can't do it remotely, so we would encourage them to visit those markets. That might be to work with our teams overseas who could introduce them to potential clients, to potential partners. Maybe there's an event that they can go and see, which is always a great starter, an exhibition where they can walk the floor, they can meet all of these people and work with our teams as well to help them with introductions and really raising their profile internationally. We would look to develop the export journey with a company over many years. It's not just about that initial interaction that we would have where we've identified some markets to start with. That journey would always continue. It might be that the markets that we're looking at will change as their products develop, as their confidence in export also grows as well. We would help them with all their activities in a market, which could be around attending exhibitions, not just exhibiting themselves, but floor walking. They can get lots of intelligence and information from that. So it's very much a part of a lengthy journey where we would grow the areas that the company's working in and work with them to achieve growth and develop those overseas markets. As well as the services that we would provide directly as the Department for Business and Trade, we will look to signpost a company wherever we can do. That might be to help with overseas shipping, logistics. They might have specific questions on tax or legal requirements if they're looking to set an office up overseas. So we very much welcome them to come to us, and we can signpost them to people that we know both in the UK that would also operate overseas as well. We would also advise companies to keep an eye on the free trade agreements that are being developed now. Most people have heard about those. There are several in place already with companies like Japan, Australia, New Zealand. And this will just make it easier for companies to do trade in that country. It will remove barriers, it will remove taxes and duties. So it's a good bit of advice for people to say, keep your eye on where those trade agreements are going, because it will open new emerging markets for them.